This is Biology 124, Human Anatomy. Anatomy is the study of structure. To study the anatomy, we cut the body into specific sections or planes. Coronal or frontal divides the body into anterior or posterior parts. Transverse or horizontal plane divides the body into superior and inferior parts. The medial plane divides the structure into right and left halves. The anatomic directional terms helps us to describe the relative positions of various structures. Relative to the front or back of the body are anterior or ventral, posterior or dorsal. Relative to the head or tail of the body are superior or cranial, inferior, or capital. Relative to the midline or center of the body are medial, lateral, bead, or superficial. And relative to point of attachment of the appendage are proximal, which is closest to the point of the body, or distal, which is the furthest point of the body. The human body is positioned into two main regions to study the skeleton. It has 206 bones. The exoskeleton with 80 bones includes the head, neck, and trunk. Appendicular skeletons with 126 bones, 63 per each side of the body, includes the bones of the upper and lower extremities, and the girdles of the bones that hold the upper and lower limbs to the exoskeleton. The functions of skeletons are support, protection, assisting in movement, storage of minerals, production of blood cells, and storage of chemical energy. There are 5 main categories of bones together with another category: long bones, flat bones, short bones, irregular bones, and sesamoid bones. The sutural bones include the skull bones. There are 2 types of bone tissue, compact and spongy. The compact contains the Haversian system that nourish the bone. The spongy tissue have many interconnecting spaces of bone marrow. The structure of the long bone is divided into 3 parts, and they are the epiphysis proximal and the epiphysis distal, and the diaphysis, or the body of the bone. Endosteum is a membrane that lines the cavity of the bone. Periosteum is the membrane that surrounds the outside of the bones. Articulations is the place of the contact between bones, cartilage, and teeth. There are 2 types of classifications of joints. The first is the type of connective tissue that binds the articulating surfaces of the bones and whether a space occurs between the articulating bones. And they are fibrous, cartilaginous, and synovial. The second classifications are the function of the movements that they permit. And they are synarthrosis, which means non-movement, amphiotrosis, which means slight movement, and diarthrosis, which is free movement. Movements of the synovial joints are flexion and extension, adduction and abduction, circumduction, lateral and medial rotation, pronation, and supination.